Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 21 updates and spoilers. It's the first one of the season. And our house guest of the day is a big man. Thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you guys. I really do mean that. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. And while we're at it, if you haven't already seen our episode recaps or the premiere party video, make sure you check that out. The Big Brother group put on another awesome party this year, and I was lucky enough to get to interview some past house guests. I'll put links for that in the info box below if you want to check it out. There's just so much popping in the info box. You really should look. Anyway, also, welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're old, and if you're not already subscribed, why not subscribe, right? You'll get these on your homepage every single day when we upload them. Alright, so anyway, let's dive in. Let's get up to speed here, because the first day of feeds is always like a what's going on here. So we saw on the show that Jackson was voted camp director by his peers, and he decided to banish Jessica, Cliff, David, and Chemi. So they all had to compete. One person was not coming back into the house. Sorry, David. Okay, so before we get to that though, Jackson's reasons for picking them, he says they were the first, they were the other three that volunteered to be the camp director, so I think that was an easy out for him. I think he looked at that group of three and was like, I don't really feel like that threatened by any of them, so I'm gonna go for it. It was just a clean, easy excuse, right? And then the fourth person, Chemi, we saw it on the show. She like made no attempts to talk to him, so that wasn't very smart on her part. Yeah. But it seems like out of the four, he did want David to be the one to go because he thought that David would have the best shot. I almost said chance. The best chance at winning competitions and getting revenge. So he got his wish. David was, I don't want to say evicted, eliminated for now. So he is going to factor into next Wednesday's twist. We don't know how yet. We don't know what the twist is. We don't know if it's a one-time thing. We don't know if it's going to be every week. Who knows? I can't wait to find out though. Leave your theories in the comments. I feel bad for David though, especially since it was such like a crapshoot of a competition. That really does suck. But anyway, Julie also mentioned that there is a new competition that we're going to be seeing on the Sunday shows. It's called Whacktivity. Are they going to be making like their own Toy Story 4 Forkies, like arts and crafts? Or is this like a macaroni art project? I don't know. But we do know that Christy is the HOH. We're going to have a little bit more on the Whacktivity competition in a little bit. But Christy is the HOH, and the feed started for realsies at 9 p.m. Big Brother time. And at the start there, it was mostly jovial, not too much game chat right off the bat. But it didn't take long for us to figure out that Christy nominated Catherine and Cliff for eviction this week. So this lines up with what Christy said in that pre-feeds audio leak. She wanted to put up one guy and one girl, and Cliff is not really the target here. He is definitely the pawn. But it seems like Catherine might not be the target either. But by the time the feeds had come on, the veto had not been played yet. So Catherine is doing the most right now. She was talking to Jessica in the bathroom area, and I feel like Catherine in general might kind of be like a paranoid person. So her being up on the block is making it like 1,000 times worse. So I also just want to point out here, this is the first time that I heard like everybody on the feeds really. You can hear Sam in the background, like wherever he is, whatever camera's on. And I swear to God, at first when I heard his voice, I thought it was like the voice of Otev or something. When Otev's like, it was crazy. Or maybe like Beetlejuice, I don't know. It wasn't bad though, it was fun. But I was just like, holy crap, that's Sam. But anyway, Catherine tells Jessica that she feels pretty good, but she knows that she's got to win this veto for herself. She can't be relying on somebody else to win and take her down. I mean, it is the first week. It's pretty bold, I feel like, to use the veto in the first week like that. So then she says she's gonna pick Jackson if she gets Houseguest choice. If you're planning on winning this for yourself, why would you pick probably one of the strongest players? Like, that doesn't make sense. So Catherine says, I trust Jackson, and he said that he'd use the veto on me. So much for winning for yourself. Also, Jackson is in the shower while they're talking about him. They're like in the bathroom area, and he's in the shower, not that far away. So then Catherine goes over to him and asks, are you still on board for this plan? Would you still save me with the veto? And he's like, oh yeah. If I get to play, I'm gonna play to win. I'm gonna play hard. If I do win, I'm gonna use that veto. Okay. So then it seems like there's already some tension between Jack and Jackson, and this comes up right now because Catherine whispers something to him about not mentioning something to Jack. She doesn't specify what it is, but there's obvious that there's something going on here. We will find out, don't worry. But Jackson at the time is more worried that his pee-pee was out on the live feeds. Because he didn't realize there was that one camera, like, basically pointing into the shower, but I don't think it was on, so, like, I don't think he has to worry about that. But yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Big Brother did warn him after that. Yeah. Okay, so then, like, 10 minutes later, Catherine is talking to Holly. And if you guys aren't good with all the names yet, I strongly recommend like pulling up another window that has just like all the house guests with their names on it, just so you can keep up better. But she's like, oh yeah, Holly, you don't have to worry. Jackson said he's not gonna say anything to Jack. About what? So Holly is like, okay, cool, but I think that Jackson is acting weird. I'm worried that he doesn't trust me now. So Catherine's like, no. Jackson wants to work with both of us, but he's trying to keep his distance right now so that we don't all become targets. So Catherine's like, I know that he's trying to broaden his horizons and he's talking to all these other people, but she gets jealous when she sees him spreading his social butterfly wings. Woo, you could tell she is the jealous type. Oh my god. So then Catherine and Jessica were chatting again not too long after she talked to Holly. And Jess is like, I don't know what's going on here, but I feel like I'm absorbing some other people's energy. And it's not good energy. It's like bad energy, negative energy. She says, I already feel like there's alliances forming. Insert Julie Chen gif. Welcome to Big Brother. I mean, seriously, this is Big Brother. People are forming alliances basically on the stage before they go in. So anyway, Catherine wants to know who is involved in these alliances. And Jess is like, oh, I don't know. I'm just getting a feeling, I don't know. So after some more prying from Catherine, Jess is finally like, okay, I think Jackson has something going on, but I'm not sure who else is involved. So eventually she says, I think he's got something with Bella because I walked in on them whispering and they were in the storage room and they were all like startled when they saw me. I think this was probably before the feeds came on because I didn't see this anywhere. But she's right because Jackson and Bella are working together with Jack. They had an alliance of 3. Not to mention their other alliance of 6. So yeah, that's it happened. This is probably not something that Jess should be telling Catherine because you know Catherine is going to run back and tell Jackson, and you know she's probably going to pick Jackson over any of the girls. You can just tell. You know it's going to happen. So then Jess is saying, you know, besides that whole incident, he was also really shady about campaigning for camp director because he was telling Jess that he didn't really want it, but then she finds out that he was campaigning pretty hard for it, and then he won. So he also told her that she would be safe, and then he banished her. So she's got a really bad taste in her mouth about Jackson, and something tells me Jackson will feel the same way about Jess once he finds out what she's saying. If he didn't already, I mean, he's got to be paranoid because he did banish her, you know, and she came back. So then this conversation ends because the Houseguest wanted to play the human knot game. So if you're not familiar with that, it's not like KNOT. So everybody's like holding hands, they get themselves worked up into this knot, and then they have to try and untangle themselves. So everyone was playing this except for Christy. Hey Christy, big brother over the top. Except for Christy, who was in the DR, and Catherine, who was still doing her makeup because she thought she was going to be called into the DR. So everybody's holding hands, like I said, they're untangling themselves. And this went on for quite a while. They were really enjoying it. And for me, watching this on the first set of feeds, I was like, that's nice, but like, what the hell is going on? We want to know what's happening, and you're doing this. So they got down to it. There was like one final knot, and they couldn't figure it out. So they gave up right before they fixed it. Isn't that sad? But after the game was over, we got some more interesting stuff here, okay? Catherine took Jackson to the archery bedroom. Oh boy. She's calling him out. She's like, she said this while she was laughing. Are you like conspiring against me? But for real. She wants to know, and Jackson's like, no, I'm not. I've been doing everything I can since day one to keep the heat off of you. So Catherine's like, okay, well, Jess told me that she walked in on you and Bella whispering and blah, blah, blah. And way to throw her under the bus. Jackson is like, we were just talking about living together after the show with Annalise and Holly. Something tells me that is going to be upsetting to Catherine, because I think this is like some sort of future showmance budding here. Blech. And she is going to be very jealous. But anyway, he says he's not plotting anything, okay? He's trying to keep her here. So Catherine apologizes. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm freaking out because I'm up on the block, and like Jess is putting all these things in my ear. So she also says that Bella gives her dirty looks all the time when Jackson is around. Are we sensing some sort of, maybe not like a love triangle here, because I feel like Bella's not into Jackson in that way, but like a half love, half game triangle, because he is very close to Bella game-wise, but it seems like him and, what's her face, Catherine, are close showmance-wise, so there's that like, ooh, who's he gonna pick? And I want to point out here that Cliff enters the room to get something while they're talking, and they still are talking about this plan, which I'm about to tell you, which makes it seem like both nominees are in on this. There's a bunch of people in on this plan. Jackson says, we just have to make sure that Chemi, Nicole, or Jess don't win the veto, because they have no idea what they would do. And Catherine's like, well, Jess would use the veto on me, faux show. And Jackson's like, okay, well, the plan is to backdoor Chemi. You know, that's still the plan. Why? So then he's like, in other news, you don't have to trust Bella, but I do trust her, okay? That's just how it is. So no one is plotting to take you out, especially not Bella. She hasn't said anything about that. And he says people want Chemi and Ovi gone. They genuinely just don't like Chemi or Ovi. Wow. Okay, like, have you guys noticed anything about those two house guests and David, who was the first one evicted? I hate that this is a thing, but it seems like every season the minorities are more likely to go earlier in the game, and that's really upsetting. I mean, it's probably not like a conscious decision that they're like, oh, we're taking out this person because they're black, or we're taking out this person because they're a Latina. But it happens over and over again, so oof, not a good look. Yeah. So then Jackson says we can't keep talking alone like this, because people are gonna walk in, we're gonna get caught, and we're gonna get targets on our backs. So then Catherine's like, okay, I get it. But then she whispers, you're not gonna pick Bella over me, right? And Jackson promises he won't. We'll see. All right, so then a little while later, Holly and Jackson were chatting in the kitchen, and we finally get some insight into the Jack-Jackson tension. Big surprise here, it's over a girl, because Jackson says that Jack is smitten with Christy. Do any of them, other than Nicole, know that Christy is into women? I mean, she did say in her interviews, like, never say never. She's dated men in the past. She could potentially date another man in the future. But, like, I don't know if that's in the cards here. But Jackson is feeling very threatened by the situation because he feels like Jack and Christy are becoming inseparable. And apparently he confided something in Jack, and then it got back to him that Jack went and told Christy whatever he said. So Jackson's like, well, if it comes down to it, he's gonna pick Christy over me, and I can't have that. So they decide they're gonna sit on this information for a while. They're not gonna like bring it to Jack and be like, what the F, bruh? So he's just gonna hold on to it. Okay, moving on. This was interesting and made me sad. Bella and Chemi were chatting in the horse camp bedroom. That's that like back bedroom with all the crazy quilts and such. So Chemi asks, has anyone been saying my name? And Bella lies and says no. Bella herself has been dropping your name along with pretty much everyone else. A lot of people have been talking about getting rid of Chemi. Apparently there is this plan that a lot of people know about to backdoor Chemi. And at the time of this conversation, Sam, Nick, and Jack were on the other camera angles, whatever, currently talking about getting rid of Chemi and how crazy it's gonna be. They say that she's scheming too much, she doesn't help around the house, she's talking crap about people. So back to this other conversation, Bella is like, yeah, I haven't heard your name, but honestly, people probably wouldn't say it to me anyway because I guess they're supposed to be close. I mean, you're supposed to be close, but she's been talking a lot of crap about Chemi from what I've seen already. So then Bella's like, oh, at the time she was filing her nails during this conversation, and she says, I'm filing my nails for Veto, just in case I need to cut a bitch. Whoa! It hurts me that she's doing this to Chemi, but at the same time, when you're bringing out lines like that, how could you not be a fan? So then she asks Chemi, are you getting excited for the veto? Do you think you're gonna get chosen to play? And Chemi is like, no, she does not want to play. She does not want the responsibility of winning the veto, especially this early in the game. So she says if she's chosen to play, she's probably gonna throw it. Oh my god. She doesn't even realize the danger she's in. This is so sad. So Bella says, well, don't you think it's kind of weird that Cliff and Catherine don't seem that worried and they're both up on the block? What is going on here? Is Bella toying with Chemi right now? Or is she like trying to warn her? I feel like she's toying with her because I've heard Bella talking about how much she wants Chemi out. So then Chemi was like, yeah, what? That's so weird. But she's not like putting the pieces together here. There's not enough clues yet. So then Chemi is saying, oh, what do you think about like Jack, Jackson, Christy, Holly, and Annalise? Chemi thinks that they're all working together. And she's partially right. You know, a bunch of those people are working together. But a key point that she's missing here is that Bella is working with all those people. And she's probably going to go and tell those people that Chemi is on to them. She is saying this to the wrong person. That sucks. Okay, so then after that, there were a bunch of people hanging out in the lounge room. It was like Cliff, Sam, Sis, meaning Annalise, Jack, Kat, Mickey, meaning Jackson, Holly, and Nick. And they were all talking about how they're getting kind of creeped out by Ovi. I said earlier that they wanted Chemi and Ovi out. Apparently, Ovi is very handsy and like giving people massages and stuff that are like, they're not asking for them. He's making food with unwashed hands. So there's a lot of hands issues going on here. And it seems like Ovi is just not fitting in with everyone. That sucks, right? So then the feed, that's gonna come up again later. But the feeds go down briefly for the power veto picks, which is interesting. They don't usually do it the night before unless they're like trying to start really early or something. So the feeds go down, and of course Christy, Cliff, and Kat are all competing as the HOH and the nominees. And then the 3 extra players, I think Cliff got Houseguest choice and he chose Jack. And then the 2 other players, I think were just a regular draw, and it was Nicole and Sam. And Tommy will be hosting. Oh my god. So that's gonna be fun. But after the player picks, it seems like the people in power, everybody that's in on this plan to backdoor Chemi, they're all pleased with this selection of players because they feel like the veto is gonna be used no matter what. Earlier they weren't really too sure about Nicole, but now that they're thinking about it, they're like, oh wait, Nicole would probably use the POV on Cliff if she wins. I guess they're pretty close. So they feel like, yeah, we're gonna pull this off. We're gonna backdoor Chemi. It's gonna be insane. Yeah. So then Catherine needs some reassurance. So Holly and Jackson are doing their darndest to make her feel better. They're telling her the plan is on, we're getting rid of Chemi, and blah, 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 blah. But Jackson is just so hurt by what Jack did to him. He keeps bringing it up, and he says Jack and Christy are always going to choose each other over anyone else, and something's going to need to be done about that. But we can't really do anything right now because we need the numbers. It's too soon. And then on the other hand, Kat can't stop talking about Bella. She's so jealous about how close Bella is to Jackson. So then later, Kat was crying, and Tommy and Nick were trying to comfort her, and she's like, I'm not scared, but I feel really uncomfortable right now because I don't know what's gonna happen. And she was also like, I'm having so much fun and I don't want to go yet. It's exhausting. So then later, Tommy and Nick were talking alone, and they were actually talking about going to Final 2 together. What? It's kind of early for that. What? Okay, so Nick, it seems like, has already revealed to Tommy that he's a therapist. I guess he did that before the feeds even came on. And he says, I feel so bad because he sees multiple people struggling with anxiety and having a tough time with that. But he doesn't want to like give them tips and blow his cover. So kind of, it's hard for him to deal with that. But then Tommy, he's got this Final 2 with Nick apparently. He also seems to have one with Christy. He was talking to her later, and they're both like, oh my god, I feel so good about our position in the game right now, and I think we can make this happen. We can go to the end together. Again, it's week 1, but okay. They can't wait to see the looks on people's faces on finale night when they find out that they knew each other. I'm just gonna leave it. Okay, so Tommy is like, I think I'm gonna stay low in competitions right now because my social game is so strong. I don't want to be like this crazy powerful threat. And Christy's like, yeah, that's fine. Christy has some information to share. She thinks that she just saw Nick and Bella like canoodling in bed together. I'm pretty sure they were just whispering, and that's why they were like close and face to face. But I could see something with them maybe in the future. They seem to have a good rapport. I don't know. But Christy has the biggest mouth ever. So she just told Tommy, she told Jack, she told Holly. So then Christy was talking to Holly in the HOH room. And she says ideally she wants Kat to win this power veto. Because if Christy were to win it and do all this work by herself, it's gonna look like she had this plan in mind the whole time, and she doesn't want that. If Kat were to win, it would be perfect because she could take herself off the block, and then Christy could say like that she wants to put up another girl because she wants to keep the one guy, one girl thing. And she already knows exactly what she wants to say when she puts Chemi up on the block. She's gonna be all, this isn't fun for me and it's not personal, but unfortunately, I can't do it. This person is a victim of playing too hard, too fast. Week 1 should have been about having fun and getting to know each other, says who. And over half the house came to me and said that this person was dropping their name, not even all like game things, but like insulting them or like shit talking them. Oh, and she says we're both scheduled to play in the same Whacktivity competition, the 3rd one, and I want to give myself a better chance to win. What? So the Houseguest already already know about the Whacktivity competition. I don't know if they had the first one yet or what. I don't know what it is or how it works, but it sounds like they were each given an assigned competition that they're going to be competing in. And I guess, you know, if you get eliminated before your turn, oh well. So Holly is like, you know what, maybe you shouldn't say that last part about Whacktivity, because I guess Jess is in the same group as Christy and Chemi. So she doesn't want her to freak Jess out by saying that. So then Annalise, sis, joins them, and Christy, of course, tells her about Nick and Bella. And then they're talking about, you know, something potentially happening with Christy and Jack. And Christy's like, no, Jack flirts with everyone. And she says that she's here for the game, not a showmance. And then they were talking about Ovi, and they're like grossed out by him. They don't like his touchiness. And apparently he went up to, I think it was Holly, when she was in the shower and was like trying to start a conversation with her. And she was like, yo, I'm in the shower right now. Like, this is not a great time. But anyway, Annalise is like, yeah, I don't want anyone touching me. Ugh. Actually, if you're hot, you can touch me. Wow. Okay. Anyway. They were also talking a lot of crap about Catherine, because they thought that Catherine and Jackson were like freaking doing it in the shower because they couldn't see past a certain point on the spy screen, and they were like, I can't believe she's throwing away her game for him, blah, blah, blah. But that wasn't even happening. It was insane. So then this morning, there was lots more crap talk from the girls and a lot of other people too about Ovi, and it's really difficult. I feel bad for him because the girls keep saying that they're fine with any of the other guys in the house touching them. So, like, what's wrong with Ovi? I mean, it just seems kind of messed up, right? Granted, he has a girlfriend, so, like, why is he doing this? It's kind of weird. I wouldn't want some guy with a girlfriend or wife or whatever touching. I don't know, it's weird. And it's not like it's only the girls that he's, like, touchy-feely with. He's touchy-feely with everyone, all the guys and everything, too. I see both sides of it though. Like, if you don't want someone touching you, they shouldn't be touching you. You know what I mean? So, it's just, I feel bad for him because he's being singled out in this way. But at the same time, if you don't want someone touching you, you don't want someone touching you, you know? Okay, so anyway, then the feeds went down around 10 a.m. for the Power Veto competition, and just a reminder, the players were Christy, Cliff, Kat, Nicole, Sam, and Jack. Kat and Jack. And while the feeds are down for extended periods of time, the animal cameras are back. Oh my god, the shelter animals are so precious. And just a little shameless plug here, if you guys want to see precious animals, we are uploading this video of one of my dogs that smiles, and it's so cute. So check it out. It should be the video after this one. And my dogs also have their own Instagram at Lucy Loves Bowie. So cute. Okay, so anyway, the competition is still in progress. So if you guys want to check back later, I will post the Power Veto winner in the info box below. And yeah, just scroll down because it's going to be at the bottom. So we'll talk about all that and more in tomorrow's spoiler. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, much love.